Hey, what's up guys? It's Oakley. I'm still on break. Keep in mind I don't get back till Thursday, so I can't do as much coverage or research as I'd like. But anyways, this is going to be a cool video released by Creative Assembly. HAWKE here, who I think is a Special Forces previously employed in the army, and here you can see some cool shots of the Roman legions deployed carrying their mess kits. So what's pretty interesting about this is that CA obviously has used the gameplay in order to make a documentary style thing, so maybe that clip was actually from the campaign or in the prologue, but either way it just goes to show that they can actually use their engine to make this type of historical thing. So what I would be interested to see is, because they're reaching out to National Geographic to do something like this, and they've reached out to HBO to do their bring basically the all sorts of people from the community over to Rome, to the set of Rome 2. I could actually feasibly see them using their in-game assets to partner again maybe with the History Channel, do something like Time Commanders, or those previous shows that some of you might have watched, or Decisive Battles, and they might actually be able to use their engine to do some of those historical battles in the flesh. That would cut down on the budget that those companies have to have, because they wouldn't have to employ a couple hundred people and use some graphics engine to make the battles they're talking about. They could instead use the Rome 2 engine. So maybe this whole video signifies that they're going to be doing that in the future. Anyways, what this particular one talks about is the Legionary kit. So they, for example, talk about the Furka here and all sorts of stuff that the Roman Legionary would have carried. Now this is pretty interesting. I'm not going to talk about the details. All of it is up to your analysis here. But yeah, it's really cool to see them talk about this and go into great depths. It's something that I've really wanted to cover on my channel, but I didn't really have the equipment or everything to put it together. And speaking of equipment, if you haven't seen it, I do have a Gladius giveaway, so I'll link that in the description below. Back into this, what they're talking about is the typical Roman Legionary kits, and as I was saying, you could find these online before, but they weren't as great as this. This is very professional. I really like what they've done, and I think it implies that in the future they'll be able to do a lot of stuff. Also, the in-game assets that we saw here being used in conjunction with documentary might hint at CA doing more stuff in the future in terms of teaming up with National Geographic or History Channel to do a Decisive Battles type thing. On that note, I wanted to talk briefly about the fact that there's actually been a lot of people in the community behind the scenes. I've been talking to various other groups about us actually putting on historical type documentaries in the future. So I've told you how I'm going to do my historical based videos in the future, talking about various things, and of course battles, recreating those battles, walking through the events and the tactics, and just trying to reenact those battles is going to be a big part of it. So what I'll probably do is do some of those on my channel, but I might actually be partnering up with some other people in the community to put on a Decisive Battles series where we wouldn't just cover Roman history battles, but also other stuff going on in the time of the Romans, covering all sorts of stuff. So that'll be a very cool feature. On that note, that's something to look forward to once the game comes out. We're going to keep coming up with more and more information. The segmented armor, also I wanted to call out right here, that they're talking about is of course something you would not have seen in the early manipular legions. Although it would have offered good protection, it's something that you wouldn't have seen early on until I think 100 AD is when it was mostly used, so in the time of the emperors, once they had switched to the cohort form of the legion. So what I'll actually be doing is, once Rome 2 comes out, I'll use the in-game assets to tell you about the early manipular legion, how they were set up, how many men were in each, the organization of the centuries, the maniples, how many legates they had, how the consuls worked, how the allies were implemented into a consular army, all that stuff. I'll walk you through that once the game comes out. So that's something to look forward to, and if you have requests on stuff to either tell you about or do research on, go ahead and send that over to me. Also here you can see some pretty cool combat animations between forces. I think we had seen a two-on-one combat animation, so we've been used to seeing one-on-one, so that was pretty cool to see. And here they're demonstrating the basically ability of a legionnaire to block one soldier and thrust towards the one on his right. So this is pretty cool. Go ahead and check out that video. Otherwise, stay tuned for more stuff on my channel. Again, check out the Total War Network. We'll be doing this community hub. Also, please guys, the charity event is going very, very well. We've already raised about like $560 last time I checked, so that's within 2 days. And we're trying to raise $1,000. So, if you could please head over there, that'd be great. Also, along the way, don't forget that you can drop by and sign up to enter the raffle for the free $200 Roman Gladius recreation, and I'll be sending that to whoever it is. Some people have raised concerns about, what if I'm abroad? What if I'm in like the Netherlands or something like that? I'm pretty sure you can send those. It might be for me, but I'll go ahead and do it. But in terms of passing security, I think as long as it's not a firearm and I have it properly ship package and all that, it should be fine. So I don't think there'll be any restrictions, but if it does turn out that I can't send it to someone, we'll come up with some alternative way to get them a prize. Yeah, so we'll make it work. So anyways, once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.